the kids to bed, dad's home. We are the DWO podcast representing the Dad World Order. I am the handsome head of household, Mr. Magnificent, Mike Martin. With me, as always, the rest of this patriarch pack. We have the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Maffey. And last but not least, he is the perpetual mid-carter and the two-time world record holder. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy, Cephas.
All right, what up, y'all? Look, I just want to point out that for the first time ever, my kid commented immediately at the start of the show when you said put the kids to bed and said nope.
No, I'm not going.
Well,
if you're not going to bed, at least you're watching a good show.
Give it an hour. Well, as Mr. Magnificent said, we are the DWO podcast. And tonight we have with us a very special guest, a young rising star in the world of professional wrestling, Miss Brittnie Brooks. How the heck are you?
I'm doing good. I've been super busy lately, which is a good problem to have, and I don't want to complain, but oh my god, I do too. I've been too stacking my days, and things are ending too close to one another, and I'm just
Yeah, no, trust me, I get it. We're all dads with older children, some with younger children, and we know how that goes when the days just kind of run together. So, yeah. But yeah, for you, it seems like it's a good problem to have. Oh no, too many bookings. I think that would be a good thing to have happen to you.
Don't hit a button.
Up.
Technical
difficulty. You hear us?
Hello?
Hello? We hear you.
Happened again.
It's happening again.
Well, while Brittnie Brooks gets her phone sorted.
Brittnie Brooks broke it.
Brittnie Brooks broke it.
Brittnie Brooks broke it.
Brittnie Brooks broke it.
We can see you. I can't hear you. Oh, no.
She's having such a moment there. Well.
God damn it.
Shucky darn.
What happens every once in a while? That's what happens when you go live, boys. But that's the DWO podcast. How are you guys?
Oh God, look at this. Yeah, technology is annoying if you're a 80-year-old man in a 30-year-old man's body.
How does this thing work?
How do you use the email?
So I was telling Mike that the thing we're working on, that thing that I was talking about on March 9th, I for sure have the venue. I'm working on securing bands for this thing, and our own event is twinkling in the horizon. It's starting to become a light at the tunnel.
Hey,
dude.
I am.
That's big time goals, Brody.
I'm all in on that, dude. Brittnie, can you hear us?
hello? I don't know what keeps happening. I'm so sorry.
It's
who's back?
Back again.
Brittnie's back.
I wonder if it's an auto, your phone's trying to close every, because my phone's set to close every 60 seconds. It could be something like that.
Obviously, her phone's set to not cool enough standards. This is just way too cool for her device.
Yeah. What's crazy is
oh shit. Hello.
What's crazy is we can see you
Hello.
the whole time.
Should we hold up cards like Sammy Guevara to ask you questions? Just
I don't know if she can see us. Mike's got hold up. We can see you and hear you. She's completely frozen now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, live show. It happens.
We'll let her get that sorted out. No, hold on. Hello?
The important thing about all of this, she doesn't stop smiling once. Not even once.
It's very smiley. Very smiley. We got some really good free codes out of this. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Bro. On that McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Oh.
You have used 50 gigabytes of data this month.
Yeah.
You will now be reduced to a minimum.
It is what it is. Let's talk about how fun our last episode was, though. That was super fun.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
For those of you that missed it, which I don't know why you would, but we had Mr. Al Snow on.
Yeah.
Head of OVW, co-owner, booker, former WWE legend, and
Future Hall of
was
Famer.
awesome, dude.
I can't believe he's not a Hall of Famer already. I would imagine that it would happen sometime in the near future, especially after this
Yeah, this is definitely.
resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the time to put him in. Put him in at 40. Do a big Attitude Era class.
Yeah.
Put D'Lo in.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. D'Lo needs to be in there.
Oh yeah, that's coming up though. Where more and more of the Attitude Era guys are gonna get,
We're gonna go in.
Yeah.
It's because we're getting old, pals. I'm about to be 36 next week. 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Return.
Hold on.
It's the
Yes.
return.
I'm so sorry.
It's
I
okay.
think my phone's getting overheated, so I just put it in front of a vent.
Okay.
There you go.
This has like never happened before. I don't know why it's like freaking out.
Thinking like
All
a
right.
dad.
Yeah. But yeah, so having the busy days, getting booked all the time. That's got to be a good problem to have, you know.
Yes,
Means
I
you're
know.
doing
I
something right.
love it.
That's good.
Because like I remember just like sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I remember just like I had tore my ACL last year, and I remember just like sitting at home, just, like being so sad and like seeing all my friends doing what they loved, and I was like so happy for them. But it was just like, and like now I'm starting to travel all the time, and I'm just like literally having the time of my life. Like the lack of
That's
sleep
awesome.
and the lack of sleep, the lack of money, the lack of everything is all just worth it because it's like I know I'm doing what I love, and like long days at shows, it's just like it's the most fun. Like I literally can't complain about it. But sometimes I do get a little overzealous, and I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that, and then I forget about things, and I overbook.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
No, I get it. It happens to all of us. I do that frequently. So you talked about you're traveling around a lot. The reason that we actually heard about you was from our good friend Roland, or Tusslemania, as he's known in the wrestling world.
That's my bestie.
We love us some Tussle. He's good buddy of ours, and he said that you traveled all the way up to Revolver in Dayton, which we were at that show. So if you end up traveling up there again, we're pretty much at every Dayton show.
Lit.
So don't be afraid to say hi. But what was that experience like, just going up, and obviously you weren't booked on the card, but just being able to help out and getting experience there?
Yeah, it was so much fun. Like Revolver has been a place that I've always wanted to work, and it kind of just worked out because it was like not on the way, but like kind of on the way to Chicago because I was at Dreamwave the next day. So I was like, you know what, let me just fly myself out and see the show and everything, and like meet everybody, and like, you know, be helpful, because what I've learned like from wrestling is like you have to be in the right place at the right time because you never know what could happen. And like I love helping out and showing that, like, you know, I might not be wrestling, but like I'm here and I can help. And I got to film some of the promos and like talk to a lot of people and pick brains and, you know, like make connections with people. And that's like all I really wanted from the trip. And it was literally so much fun. And I would love to go back. It's just like most of the times they run shows when I already have other shows that I'm wrestling on. So I can't go. But like that day worked out perfect because it was like Dreamwave was the next day. So like that Thursday I flew to Dayton, and then I ended up being able to fly to Dreamwave Friday morning. So it ended up working out perfectly. But I really, really do want to work with Revolver and everything. So
Heck yeah, Revolver's a a big place for us. We got a special place in our hearts, and we traveled all the way out to Iowa just to watch a show last month. So it's easier when it's in Dayton, but we definitely get you on the travel. And there's something about just being there that just, I don't know. There's something, extra there.
Most definitely.
So
and
where
kick it with Tussle.
Yeah,
Tussle's the
like
best.
being able to hang with him, like seems like every show we're at, we get a little more hang time with him because usually during the show he's working, but if we get there early enough, we got time to hang out with him a little bit, and that's always good. Also, our good buddy Dave over at Pro Wrestling Podcast, they are dedicated.
The dads.
The Brit. Yeah, good old Dave. Gotta love you, buddy. But yeah, Revolver definitely has a very special place in our hearts, and every time we go there, it's just an absolute blast to work at. So, you mentioned Dreamwave. What other? Do you have any like home promotions that you like to work at, like locally, or are you pretty much always traveling around?
Recently I've been traveling just like with dates like aligning and stuff. But my home promotion is Arizona Wrestling Federation. And I wrestle there, and like another one that I would consider my home is FSW if they allow me to consider it. I don't train there, so I can't be like, this is my home promotion. But I do go to training sometimes. Like I'll come up a few days early. But FSW in Vegas, like I go there all the time, and I literally just love being there. I love being in Vegas. If it were up to me, I would drop everything and move to Vegas. But I'm like, I can't because I still live at home and everything. And like, I'm able to travel all the time. And like, I don't have to worry about like bills. So that's really helpful because I know the second I move out, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot worse when there's a whole other bunch of commitments that you have to meet fiscally. It's because travel is expensive these days.
Yeah.
Put moving out off as long as you can. Take my word. That was the worst mistake I ever made. I should have never left home.
I know, but then it's just like, I don't want to be the person who's just at home as like, I'm 19 now, but like, I don't want to, like, I still feel like that's old. Like, I shouldn't be at home anymore.
So, 19, how many matches do you have under your belt?
I was just actually figuring this out. I'm at 69, so it's my 70th matches on
Nice.
Friday. Yes. I'm trying to get to 100 before the year's over because I had about 15. Well, it's crazy because I had like 15 matches, tore my ACL, and since I had wrestled one match in December, one match in January, since February, I've had that many matches. It's crazy. I'm not wrestling 2 to 3 times a weekend. So much fun. I'm having so much fun.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
That's the name of the game right there. Like, obviously, you want to make some money, but if you don't enjoy it, what's the point, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, we make $0 on this, but we enjoy
negative dollars.
So yeah, if anything,
let's say negative dollars.
Negative dollars.
Dave's giving you a shout out here, saying you had a great match with Alex Did you spell that right? It's supposed to be Garcia.
Garcia.
Oh, it's Garcia. Oh, you spelled it right.
You just can't say it right.
You can't say it right.
Yes, I loved that match. That was like the first match I had out of town. It was me versus Alex, and then the next time I wrestled for that company, it was me versus Alex versus Layla Gray. And like those are both the only times I ever traveled out before I got injured. So like I didn't know what to expect, and it was like so crazy wrestling somewhere else that wasn't like my home.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. Yeah, what I was just gonna ask, what was that like when you took that leap of, oh my God, I'm getting booked like out of state and stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, when I was like before I got injured, and then when I first came back, like I didn't really understand like how to like talk to companies and network and like meet people and all these things. Like, so then the second, like, I think WrestleMania weekend really helped me, like, because I was just asking people, like, how do you get out there? Like, how do you travel? I see you're wrestling every single weekend. Like, how do you do that? Because I was doing like one match a month, like, for AWF. So like, I was like, how do you do all this? And then they're like, you just got to like reach out and get it together, bring your social media game up. So like, that's been something that I've really been focusing on. And it was like a big change. Like when I first started traveling, like the first time I ever flew for wrestling was to a promotion that I actually just wrestled at again on Sunday. So that promotion will always hold a special place in my heart, Waco Association of Wrestling. I wrestled at, that was the first flight I ever took, and that was in February. And I got to wrestle Mia Friday, who like I literally adore. And I used to be friends with her online before we started wrestling, which is crazy. But yeah, like I just kind of started asking people like, how do you get out there? Like, what do you do? And like, I'm still learning. Like, I still definitely like, I still want to get out there and get on like bigger, amazing promotions. Like, I feel like there's still so much more work to do. But it's just been so much fun. Like, I feel bad because like I said, like I'll tweet like, oh my God, like this flight is stressing me out, or this travel issue. But I'm like, dude, I'm literally getting to fly and see the country and hopefully see the world pretty soon. Hopefully I got some international bookings soon. But like, it's just crazy. It's wild. I'm just a girl from Arizona who hasn't even seen the Grand Canyon, by the way. But now
You're
I'm seeing
doing
all these
something
places.
right. You're doing something right, because normally, and this, I've not been able to see you wrestle live yet. I've not been able to line up a date with that, but I have heard of you. And normally, when we have a guest on that I haven't seen wrestle yet, I have no idea who they are, but I have heard of you. So you're making some kind of noise, and that's super cool. You know,
Such a short amount of time too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I
young
really
and
appreciate
successful.
that.
Something tells me the next time we try to interview you, we're going to have to talk to your agent, and your agent's going to be like, "Yeah, I don't know about that." She's super.
Listen, we got a prerequisite. We already interviewed her once in the car with a vent on the phone. Okay, let's get one with a professional camera or something.
I have like a vlog camera and I have like a computer, but I just like am not home, so I'm like, shoot.
Hey, we love it. We love this
the busy one, not home,
off the cuff, like on the fly stuff, man. That's
Authentic.
It's kind of our MO.
Yeah,
I love it.
But yeah, Dave saying Brittnie's everywhere, regular prodigy.
Hey.
And I mean everything I'm seeing. I mean, obviously you've been on quite a few podcasts recently. I've been seeing, and I believe you were just on with the Wrestling Classic. Am I correct?
I was a little bit earlier. We had complications with that too because I was at the gym trying to film and like in front of the pool because like I had nowhere to go. I was like, I can't go home because then I'm gonna miss the time that we agreed on. So I was like, let me just go to my gym real quick. And now I'm in the parking lot of said gym. I was like, I gotta change the scenery a little bit. I can't do the exact same podcast.
Right. You're just sitting in your car all day doing podcasts.
That's why your phone needed some AC. It was like, sheesh, we already did the other one.
We already did one.
Forget about it.
Outside in the pink sun.
Well, hey, we're very appreciative you taking the time out of your day to do this with us because we enjoyed talking.
Thanks for having me. That means a lot. Oh, sorry.
Absolutely. Tussle spoke very highly of you, which I believe were you working at Mission Pro when you guys met? Or where was that at?
Yeah, it's so funny because like I have been following TussleMania for a while, and I had no idea what he looked like, right? So then I'm like at the
surprises you, doesn't it?
Like, who? I'm like this dude, because it was before like he did the video stuff, like not video stuff with Revolver, but like before he did like the whole like where he got involved in a match and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't know, like I follow a lot of accounts and like, but I always thought his stuff was so cool, and I was just like looking around and I'm like, that dude is somebody, but I can't figure it out. And like I knew, like when I introduced myself, he said Roland, and I was like, okay, like who is this dude? Like he's so familiar without being familiar. And then we took a group photo, or he did like this pan of like all the girls, and I did like either this, which is my pose, or this, which is my pose, and he's like, I like that. And then eventually we did like a group photo with everyone flipping off the camera, and like he was like, I like your energy. And then from there we just like clicked, and then he had to borrow my pink KT tape because like at the time it was either my knee or my shoulder was hurting, so I was wearing KT tape, and I was like, he's like, do you have any? And I was like, yeah, but it's pink. And he's like, I love pink. And I was like, see, we're gonna be besties. Right. And then from there we like messaged all the time.
Have you seen his merch?
Like,
yeah.
All his
I know,
merch
and I got some of his merch, and we did.
Yeah.
We actually shot some stuff at Revolver when I was there, like some advertisement for his merch, and I love it. I love it so much. I literally bought. It's funny. I bought the purple shirt, and I bought a small, and they sent me a 5X.
What?
And I was like, and on the shipping receipt, it literally says small. So I tweeted, I was like, Tussle, what do I do? He's like, I'm gonna get you a new one. It was so funny, and like so many people responded to it. I was like, "This is wild," because like I literally. So now I have like a 5X Tusslemania shirt in my closet.
That's a nightmare.
You know what?
At
That
point,
yeah,
you know?
bring that to shows and be like, listen,
I should. I just
Mr.
like put it on as a blanket. Like I'm cold, guys.
You just be
or,
like,
you know, Mr.
I used to be
ample wrestling fan. Would you like this shirt? Only $20.
God, that couldn't be more wrong of an order.
right.
Yeah.
I
Small.
know.
Here's
And
a 5X.
I checked my order. I checked everything in the paper. It said
Pink
small.
is the 5B.
And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Did you grow up a wrestling fan? Like your parents or your
did.
grandparents or anything?
No. So one day my dad was watching, like, for some reason, just randomly, he like put random something on the TV. It was like a Sunday morning and it was like Raw in Spanish. And then like the next Friday, my brother was like watching it. I was like, what are you watching? And he was like, I don't know. I saw Dad watching this. We just fell in love with it. It was during like 2011 when Cody Rhodes had like everyone wearing the paper bags. At the time I was like 6 or 7 years old. So like paper bags and like we had, oh my God. And I just instantly clicked with John Cena. Like John Cena was literally my favorite. I was just obsessed with him. And then I was like so in love with it. Do you have a paper bag?
I thought
you were like, good luck.
I have Mask Cody.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, it's one of my all-time favorite figures. I had to go get him a show.
It's such an iconic era.
Dave, I'm sharing that sentiment right now, dude. She said 2011. I was waiting tables at Chili's, man. Like
Chili's is the best though, so
I mean Chili's was pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie. Or no, was I?
Yeah, I really want to see Cody. I want to see Cody climb this mountain and in that story, and then I want to see him slowly turn heel during his championship run, and I want the mask to come back. If the mask comes back, know this, I'm freaking out wherever I'm at. I thought that I love Cody with a character. Not saying that I didn't like Stardust, but I think Stardust was a little too much. But I think that everything else he did, he killed. So I would really like to see him, especially bring back that, aggressive, mean version of him. Is that aggressive, mean version of Brittnie exist in you, or are you just as bubbly like this all the time?
On some days, you catch me at the wrong time, especially Pride Style in Vegas. But yeah, on some days it comes out. The bitchy Brittnie comes out.
That's a T-shirt right there, dude.
Oh, I actually just bought stickers today, and it's a really cool design. Shout out to it was West Coast Design who did it, and it's pretty fire.
Okay, all right.
Suspenseful.
Chili,
baby
back
ribs, barbecue sauce.
Funnily enough, those were not the like hot item. It was honey chipotle chicken crispers all day long. That's all I served people.
Chili's
hardly ever got ribs.
Love you, Chili's.
Good old Chili's sponsor.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Also, Dan Lovins, what up, dude?
What up?
Working Mission Pro, that had to be a lot of fun. Kind of working. I know they're not completely all women, but it's a very women's focused promotion. What was that like? Just being able to like pick brains and stuff like that as some of the veterans there.
It was so much fun. Like Mission Pro, like I have this list of indies literally in my phone. Like, and Revolver's on it, Defy, GCW, Prestige, all of those are on it, and Mission Pro is on it. And now, like, the fact that I'm like consistently working there, like some of their dates just didn't work out, but the fact that I'm like working there now is like crazy to me, because that was like an indie when I was like, how do I get on that? What do I do to get on that? Right. And it just like, it's so awesome. And then my next time with them is October 21st, and I'm wrestling Jasmine Allure, which like Jasmine is so good at what she does. She's a little rude, I will say, but she's so good at what she does. And like, so yeah, I'm so excited to like, work with her, even though she's mean and she's like hella rude to Izzy in her debut match, and I gotta get some redemption for Izzy there. But
Absolutely.
now like there's so many talented people, and also I gotta kick it with like even like Maya and Mia. They're girls that I've like literally been like talking to on Instagram for forever, and I get to like see them, and Izzy too. Like it's been so cool to like see girls my age working there, and like young prodigies, and like I don't know, just like getting to like see everybody, and all women is so powerful. Like I just love it so much. And then Tussle too, getting that content and getting to kick it with
Yeah.
him, so much fun.
Absolutely.
I think the coolest thing for women's wrestling right now is it's not being treated as like it's got to be a separate thing. Like for example, with Revolver, you get women's matches, you get men's matches, you get women kicking men's ass, you get men kicking women's ass, and they don't acknowledge it. And I like that so much in a way because it's, I don't know, it's the true equality of wrestling. I like it. I like to see, you know what I mean, equal representation. But it's definitely cool to see we went to what was it, NWF. They did
WWF, yeah.
all women's show, and I took my daughter, and it was one of the coolest nights ever to just bond at pro wrestling. And I seen the spark that I have for wrestling in my kid's eyes. So hopefully one day she'll be fighting Big Rig's kid at WrestleMania. So
that's the plan. That's our plan. Our plan is what, WrestleMania, 50?
50, 52, somewhere around
50,
there.
52. We're going to like square up.
His dad
in the ring, and then our daughters will end up fighting. That's our plan. And we already said we're not pulling any punches. So if you see that on WrestleMania 52, we're hitting each other for real.
My daughter was born on WrestleMania 30, so it's destiny.
I love that.
Born on WrestleMania. 32 years later. Here she is.
Wow, you had it like going while your wife was in labor. You're like, hang on, honey, give me a second. I'm watching WrestleMania.
Luckily, my daughter was born at like 2 in the morning. So 3 in the morning.
Good.
So I was able to go
hold her in your arms and watch WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that was also the night that the Undertaker lost, and I have this giant Undertaker tattoo. So that moment I'll never forget, because I was sitting at my house because I had to go home and let the dogs out, and I'm catching up on WrestleMania, and I watched that moment live, and I remember just sitting down and I cried. I was like, my hero just lost. My daughter was born. What is this crossroads that I'm at? Where am I at in my life? It was an awesome night. So, hopefully years later it'll pay off, It's the long story.
That's like so special, like seeing like your daughter or like just other like kids, like because I like my biggest goal in wrestling, like everybody's like, what promotions like do you want to work, like what company do you want to be signed to, and I'm like, I just want to make people feel how I felt when I was like watching John Cena or the Bella Twins, like when I was wrestling. Like that's what this is all about. It's like giving back and being that hero to somebody. Like those people were heroes for me. Like it's just wild that like whenever I go to a show and like see a little girl, like I just got these new shirts, and the first like band that I sold to was like this little girl, and she was like so excited to see me. It was at a SCW, which was an all women show that day, and it was just like so special, and she was like jumping up and like she was so happy, and I'm just like, to make that like connection with a child is like so special to me. And I feel like my audience is very children, because I love being like that little, but then also it's like boss bees, because like I do like scream, it's Brittnie, bitch, but
you can cuss it.
we put the kids to bed.
I think I like to have like a combination of like kids, but also just like everybody, and but like the little kids bring out the most, like my heart. It makes my heart so happy.
But they get so like they're so amplified, and when they get excited, and seeing them get like that over you, because you've been in that same position before, and marking out over somebody, and to see somebody do that over you is just like that full circle moment. It just got to be unbelievable. I mean, we've had a little taste of it. We sell some merch here and there, and seeing somebody wearing our merch is always. Actually, Sammy and Roland both wore our hats in the ring for the last Revolver show we were at, and we were just like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!"
Yeah. We're still just big ass kids.
Yeah,
That's it.
for sure.
Always.
And I gotta
always,
say,
like,
oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, we're always like the biggest marks are wrestlers. Like, we literally throw our bodies through so much garbage just to, like, because we love wrestling so much. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like one of the
Murder.
biggest things. Like, the biggest things, like, people always say, like, you kind of change, like, your mindset once you become a wrestler. Like, you're not, like, freaking out over, like, other wrestlers and stuff. It's like you're coworkers with them now, so, like, you're professional. But, like, at the end of the day, we are still, like, the biggest fans, because, like, we're literally throwing our bodies against wood and bumping and traveling the world, getting no sleep, because we love wrestling so much. And it's, like, such a different kind of love. Like, it's a dedication and just, like, the most important things in our life.
Yeah, and I mean, do you know how hard it was at the last Revolver show in Iowa? How hard it was to play it cool when, like, we're outside before the show and, like, Chris Sabin rolls up and's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And just like, "Hey,"
You're like, "Hi."
like, I'm like, I watched you in TNA
Bro.
when I was a kid. Like,
Tommy Dreamer walked up, shook my hand, and said, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Tommy." What the?
Wow.
I know who the fuck you are, bud.
yeah,
I've met you now. I mean, I drove 590 miles to see Dreamer hurt Chambers. Like, I know who you are, bud.
yeah.
I listened to your show.
Dude,
That was
it's like that being in locker rooms. Like, I just did, so, like, Dreamwave was kind of like my first, like, indie super show. Like, I was like, bro, there's, like, Masha's here, like,
oh yeah.
Matt Cardona and Seth DeLander. Like, those are all people that I love watching on indies. And I'm like, those are people that I want to get to that position of. And it's just, like,
Right.
wild, the people that I've been meeting and, like, that follow me on Instagram now back. I'm like, hi. Like, it's so crazy because, like, for the longest time I was just this indie wrestler, 16 years old in Arizona, like, didn't know anybody. And now it's just like I'm starting to meet these people, and just, like, it's really a snowball effect. And how I'm, like, friends with people who I'm just like, bro, like, it's crazy.
I can see it happening to you, man. And it's like I said, at some point you're gonna look back. We're gonna look back and be like, "Damn, we had her on our show. She's two-time champion or whatever." You know what I mean? I can see it, man. You got a future. As much as you care about this, that's what it takes. And manifesting reality is such a real thing. That's what we're doing with this show. You know what I mean? I worked a little bit, but I never could quite. I didn't cut the mustard. You know what I mean? So now I'm trying to lick the jar. You know what I mean? And we're making something out of nothing here. You not know that fucking
I
Maybe
love
the worst
I love this
visual.
thing.
You can't cut the mustard, lick the jar, son. I tell you. No, but it's working, man. We're making a really great. We had the toy in my hand. We had Al Snow on last week. You know what I mean? Like, we had Al Snow, and it's just this level of, like, huh? Like,
Yeah.
it was so, and it just keeps happening.
Stevens often says, and it's a term I really love, is that, we love wrestling, and some of the things we've experienced is wrestling loving us back. And just these moments we get, to talk to people like yourself, or the aforementioned Al, it's so great just to talk and hear these different perspectives and hear about people, and, their come ups and how their beginnings and their love of things. And like he said, someday we could see you on WrestleMania and be like, "Oh, I remember when she was just a little one in the car."
In the car with
Also,
the technical difficulties, overheating phone outside of
hey, it's all good.
We figured it
Everybody's
out.
got to start somewhere. I mean, our very first episode I did on an iPad and Mike did on a laptop from 1996.
Yeah.
So
It didn't even have windows, it had window.
yeah,
Apparently, I popped our boy Bobby here.
that's right.
I'm sorry, man. I'm about to make a new T-shirt now.
Do
The
it.
jar.
Look at me. I'm learning so much. I learn a lot of new stuff about Cephas, but I'm learning new stuff about Dave. I trained with Rockstar Pro Wrestling for 2 months back in 2016 and broke my back.
Spinal.
I quit because of money, but I have so much respect for those that did this for a living. Dave, I didn't know that. I thought we were friends.
The spinal part makes me think he's full of shit because that's the fucking Mike Tyson excuse for not fighting.
Yeah,
him.
pretty much everything Dave says you got to take with a grain of salt. I mean, he did. It's Dave, bitch. Gotta love Dave though. But I gotta say though, you kind of talking about like how it feels to how you want to make these kids or your fans, whoever it is, happy, to feel like you felt that's a big deal because that's how my daughter ended up falling in love with wrestling. I took her to an indie show and she got to meet Thunder Rosa. It was her first show she'd ever been to, and she made her year. I mean, she wrote her a big, paragraph on the poster and took pictures with her and all kinds of stuff. She made that a moment she will remember forever. And it's just, she's actually done it multiple times, but you're going to make those moments for people. And that's what makes this one of the coolest things on planet Earth. I love wrestling.
Yeah. It's like I've talked about before. Cool. When I met Rowdy Piper, he said, the moment you meet somebody, even because I'm in a band and I got a couple other things that I get recognized for as well. But he said, if you ever meet somebody who wants to talk about your stuff, give them every moment you have, even if you're having the worst day possible, because for you, it's just 10 minutes. For them, it's a lifetime memory. And that's the coolest thing ever with kids, man. It really is. What was, Marty Bell. We went to that all women's show. And she came up and acted like she was going to give my daughter and his daughter both a high five. And she faked them out. And it created such a beautiful moment. And I called it perfectly on video. And it's like, I'm going to look back at that like, oh, look how little.
Yeah.
Aww. My daughter, I'm so jealous, you guys. My daughter's never liked wrestling. Although my oldest daughter is 22. And now she's talking about, I was thinking about wrestling, Dad. I was like, really?
We know we know someone who will train you, and I will sponsor your kid, dog.
I've been telling her for years she should get an MMA just because I've had a fist fight her, so she's tough. She's a tough chick, man. So
man, she's over 18. He can fight her if she wants.
If any of them, no, I mean, sometimes Dad's got to get the belt.
Of course, Dave, the one time I'm serious. I don't know, man. Like the whole thing just sounded.
Sure about that?
I don't know, Dave. I believe you, Dave.
Wow.
Broke my spinal back.
So you said you have like a list of indies that you want to work, obviously. Is there anybody that you've worked with already that you were like, wow, that really taught me a lot? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you've had all these, 69 matches, but what honestly, was one that was like, wow,
nice.
That was awesome?
I would say, honestly, like every single match teaches me so much. Like it could be a little thing. It could be the biggest thing in the world. It could be like anything. Probably the match that I learned a lot from was honestly that Dreamwave weekend, because I had never done I had done one 6-person scramble once, and that was like it was like months or like a year ago. And but like understanding like how to work with 6 people was very difficult. But like Becca and Shaza McKenzie and Maki Ito and all of those names are like incredible, and then to like be among those is like crazy. Wow. I learned a lot that weekend, and I picked a lot of brains, and it was really incredible. And even just like going to Revolver the day before too, like I got to talk to a lot of people, and like so that's like those 3 days were just incredible. And just like, but I try to learn every single thing, like everything, at least one thing from every match. I just messed up that. I try to learn at least one thing from every match, but like every match I'm like, I watch it back and I'm like, oh, I could have done this differently, and I talk to my opponent about it, and like just like everything. So I definitely think every match, every day is a learning experience. Like even being on the show, now I know that like certain things are gonna happen, so I need to make sure I come in early to podcast and like stuff like that. Like, but I feel like every day is a learning opportunity, and every person you talk to, every fan you meet, every ring announcer, every commentator, every everybody is important. Like in wrestling, I think every single person is important. So
That's
like talking
a
to
great way to
anybody and
look at it.
everybody.
And we kind of adopted that mindset too, going to indie shows and kind of talking to people. I mean, that's how we ended up getting linked up with Tussle. I was like, man, if he wasn't doing all these videos and everything for these guys, these people wouldn't look half as cool. You know, he like makes really amazing content. And like, that's why we wanted to have him on the show. The first time we had him on the show, we're like, I'll bet you he's got some awesome stories and, you know, things that he's been doing. So, I mean, everybody isn't, yeah, he does. And, you know, everybody's a very integral part. And that, I mean, that's one thing that Al Snow just told us on Sunday. He's like, there's not one person that's involved with the show that's any more important than the other. Cause one person doesn't do their job and the whole thing crumbles.
Yep. Exactly.
That mindset's going to take you everywhere, man. I'm excited to watch your career. You know what I mean? It's
I
going
want to
to
meet your parents. They did a heck of a job. I gotta say that.
They've done.
You tell Dave and Judy that they did all right.
Yeah.
You'd shit if that was her parents' name. She'd have been like, how?
No, I was like, wait, were you not talking to me? That was my thought, actually. I was like, wait.
I had the shot in the dark. You know, there's like a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
I don't think it's less than 50-50, but okay.
It's Todd and Gigi.
Todd and Gigi.
Yeah, you never would have got that.
I was so close.
Todd's a very
so
good name. I dig it.
Todd.
He's probably
So
my age. I went to school with a lot of Todds. How's the
How old
80s
are
name?
you?
43.
Nah, he's 62?
Your
My
dad
mom
is
is-
a brave man to have.
So he had you when he was my age? Poor. Oh man, now I really got to
They
meet this
had me
guy.
so late. But honestly, like they were able to like they experienced so much life that they were able to like teach me so much. Because like
Yeah.
40 years of life, and like now they're having kids,
Oh.
right? So like I have one other brother. He's like 3 years older than me. But yeah, my mom is older than him. She's 60 something. I don't even know.
Dang, your mom's older than my mom.
Stop. I'm gonna spit my whiskey out.
We were so it was funny because I was at training one day and my coach goes, what's like the Karen's name for men? And someone said Todd, and I was just like, I think it's Keith.
No.
I think yes,
It's Keith. It's definitely Keith. Yeah.
It's like, you ever seen the Family Guy thing? What is the worst name in the English language?
I saw that video.
Everyone who's our fan named Keith is like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe.
Sorry. One day I'm gonna be like making an 8x10. I'm gonna be like, how do I spell your name? And they're gonna go Keith, and I'm gonna be like,
Fuck.
Oh no.
don't punch me. I'm sorry.
You have no idea how hard I just popped for that. I knew exactly what you were talking
Hey,
about, and I love every second of it.
circled it with the Mike Tyson, man. That's great. Keep
my
my ass.
So I got to get this question in before Dave keeps popping out one-liners here. He asked, what was TK like? Have you met the Tony Khan?
I didn't meet him, but I saw him from a distance. I
He's a
was
short man.
like, I did not know. I was just standing talking to somebody right in front of his office, and then because like I know the security guard, and I was talking to him, right? And shout out to Gallo. I was talking to him, and all of a sudden he's like, "You gotta go," and then all of a sudden just Tony Khan comes out, and I'm just like, okay.
Oh my god.
And so like I just kind of like walked away, and then I was just like watching, just watching from the back, like.
I want to see what he does.
But I did not meet him.
All right. Well, I'm sure he's a very lovely person. He definitely seems like it.
It's just like I did not want to like that. My biggest goal with like doing AEW was like I didn't want to piss anybody off because like I was so scared. Everyone seemed like they were walking with a purpose. Everyone seemed like don't get in their way. Like everyone's obviously so nice, but like I don't want to be that person that like messes something up right before the show's about to start. So I'm
The
just
person that's not signed messing everything up. Yeah.
yeah.
You lean on
Yeah.
the desk and
So-
knock the whole video wall over. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I just Can I just say I love that about AEW, and we've said this since the beginning of our show though, is just how much we love that they bring in people and give them a chance to get a little TV time, a little spotlight. I
It's
love that.
incredible.
Yeah,
It's
and the
incredible.
fact they allowed their
always
talent
available.
to kind of venture out as well and hit indies.
Yes. That's like one of my favorite things about AEW and Impact is like you could still be signed to a contract and still work in indie days. And like that's like what I think is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to promote your talent, to have them, you may see them at a small show, and then you get like you see them on TV and you can come see them at a small show. So it's a win-win.
Yep.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I would imagine a lot of those people that have been signed, for a while, whether it's AEW or Impact, I know when they go to an indie show, they're moving some merch. So you're making a pretty good payday at an indie show, I would imagine.
I bought Matt Cardona's middle finger.
He did. He got to do his
context. Just saying that without context is just really funny.
Yeah. Right?
I was at Dreamwaves, I saw his merch and I was like, is that a middle finger? Like I genuinely didn't know that he had those. I was like, okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
See, I don't know if you saw with the Matt Cardona match. I made all those. And that was developed here on this show. And we thought about it and we were like, let's do this. And we cleared it with the management first. And they were like, not only are we okay with that, do it. Like, so we were like, all right.
I love it. That's incredible.
After the show was over, I went up to Matt and I was like, hey, man, I just want to make sure there's no, no worries, no negative. That was all out of love. He was like, dude, I fucking appreciate that. He's like, that was awesome. I was like, yes.
The photos were insane. Yes. I was like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah. He created a moment. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I really hope that the next time I see Matt, he has that 8x10 for sale. Because that would be like, oh, I did that. Can I have one? I gave you that.
That would be a good 8x10 to sell for sure.
Yeah.
He should do that. Matt Cardona, do it.
Yeah, sell that.
So Dave's got another question for you. What's the next step? How long before you take the plunge and try out in Orlando? Is that something you're thinking about, or you think you need a little more time under your belt? What are you thinking?
So I was like, I always think about it, right? Because like obviously, it's something you have to get invited to. So like just getting on the radar is like so important to me right now. Getting on the radar of any of the companies, being WWE, AEW, or Impact, I would love to work all those places. But definitely getting on the radar is very important to me, and that's what I'm trying to do is just start killing it on these indies and make some traction and get better, because like obviously you're your own biggest critics, but I feel like there's so many things I need to improve on, like in terms of everything about wrestling. So getting better, but I always tell my coach, I'm like, I just don't think I'm ready. Like, what if I finally get what I've always wanted my entire life and then I'm just not ready and I blow it? And like, that is a reality that you have to consider, but also I feel like you had to be very confident in yourself, which like is something I'm working on for sure. Cause like before I even started wrestling, like I was not a very confident person. I wasn't like, I've always been extroverted, but I wasn't very like outgoing. But now like wrestling has really broken my shell. And like training with the people I have and my coach and everybody, like we've really been working on breaking my shell and just becoming more confident. But I don't think you're ever going to be ready for a tryout. It's just something that you have to show up and show out at. And so like whenever I get that opportunity, I'm going to be nervous as heck, but I also am going to try to be as confident as possible, because I know that that confidence radiates. And when you're not confident, people can see it. So
Sure, absolutely. And, you know, I've seen a lot of those stories of people, you know, getting that tryout or, you know, maybe getting signed to NXT or something like that, and then realizing like, oh man, I was not ready for that. So yeah, confidence has to play a huge part in that. Like you might not feel all the way ready, but you got to be like, yeah, I can do this. So more reps you get in, the better you're going to feel, I'm sure.
Yeah, like I was shocked. Like I didn't even know that I had, because I think my 50th match was against Johnny Robbie for championship wrestling. And I was just like, yeah, you're my 50th match. And she's like, girl, no way. And I was just like, I don't know, like, I didn't realize that I haven't really had like that many matches. Like it was something that I'm like, well, I've kind of been training since I was like 14, 15 years old. And that's like been 4 or 5 years now. So like the fact that like, and I'm really starting to get my reps in now, which is really nice. But also it's very nerve wracking because I'm like, well, some of this footage stays on the internet forever. And I'm just like, I don't want to mess up. So like every time before a match, like I get so nervous. And I know that like that doesn't really go away. But because it's like the nervousness means you care, and
Yep.
I don't know, it's definitely something like I'm trying to rep it out right now, because when the opportunity does come, I really don't want to blow it. And like there's already been some situations where like things have fallen through because I haven't been ready, and but I also think that every single thing in life happens for a reason. And like pretty recently something fell through that I was really upset about, but like everything happens for a reason, and you're in the exact position that you're in because you're there. Like you're supposed to be there. So like for sure, like that doesn't obviously stop my hard work. Like I will keep grinding, keep doing a million things, and keep getting no sleep and traveling and doing whatever it takes. But like I think that everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
I buy that.
So I gotta ask. I know it's kind of a generic question, but we do like wrestling here. So you gotta give me 2 dream matches. One you don't think could happen. One that's like really out there, and then one that's on the indies that you definitely think could happen that you want to happen.
Okay. So one that like is really out there that probably won't happen is Nikki Bella, because obviously like her neck and stuff.
Ooh.
She's just been my hero since I was a kid. Like I just remember watching her and just being so inspired by her. Like honestly, the Bella twins are the reason that I will wrestle. And like it's just crazy to me now that like there's little things like like a few months ago I posted a photo of me doing, because I kind of like do a little bit of their similar interests. I used to do the backflip in my entrance, but now I don't really do it anymore. But like there's a little like pose moment, and I literally clipped a Nikki Bella and I like posted it on Instagram, and she like commented, and I was just like, it's crazy now that I'm doing the thing that I saw like my idols and my inspirations like, and now like, so yeah, that's the out there one. And then the out there one that I do hope will happen is Charlotte Flair, because she is she is the greatest of all time for women's wrestlers, and like one of the greatest to ever exist, like wrestlers period. Charlotte is so talented, and she earns everything that she's given. So, or she's not given, she earns everything that she has. So
I'm a very emotional guy, and I get attached to things. If you wrestle her, I'm gonna be crying. I'll be like, I remember when she said she wanted to, and I was there. It's awesome.
And then
you know what? It'll be at WrestleMania, and we'll be in the crowd for it, and we'll be sitting
I love it.
And our daughters will be like, Dad, why are you crying? And, don't worry about it.
Like, Brittnie, bitch.
And then for indies, my answer to this for a while has been Billy Starks, and now I have a match with her on October 15th at Second Wrestling in Illinois. So I feel like I have to change my answer now that I have it, and I'm so excited to wrestle Billy.
She is so smooth. The way she performs,
so good. Like it's actually insane. Like I remember when I first found out about her, like I want to say last year, because like I'm really starting to familiarize. Like now I know almost every single girl on the indies, which I'm like proud of, because I want to know all these girls and like network and talk to them, because like it's such like a niche group is like women's indie wrestlers, and like we all gotta help each other out. And like I found out about her, and I remember seeing her prom photo, and I'm like, dude, like she's my age, like that's crazy. And like, and I met her WrestleMania weekend at Second Wrestling when she wrestled Brooke Havoc, and I was just like, dude, this girl is like who I aspire to be. Like I understand we're the same age, but like she's incredible, and she's doing so much. And like every time I see what she's doing, I'm like, okay, I need to get to that level. Like I want to be as good as her. So like I'm super excited to wrestle her. And then like indie wrestling match that hasn't happened yet that I do want to happen, probably there's like so many. Honestly, probably Masha Slamovich, because she's insane, and like her style is like so opposite. She's like so like rugged and vicious, and like it's so opposite of mine. I would love to wrestle her.
She
so.
has a layer of Stone Cold Steve Austin to her. Man.
good.
We've seen her a few times, man, and when she was out there, it was versus Chris Sabin, wasn't it? Yeah, and she kicked his fucking ass. Like
I love it. She's
whooped his
such a
ass,
girl
man.
boss. She's so
Yes.
good.
Yes.
She said bye to me twice. Not a big deal. It was very peer.
It's one of those moments.
You know, respect. The
We
respect.
were
is
next to
there
her in
for
the
sure.
autograph line. She got to see us witness us autograph our first thing as a trio.
Yeah, we're basically co-workers. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, Dave's asked, have you had a chance to work Warrior Wrestling yet?
I've not worked with them yet, but I think I've hit them up, but I don't remember what happened after that.
Right.
Because Warriors is in
Usually Chicago area.
Yes, okay. I think I reached out to them, but I don't know if either they didn't see it or something. I don't know. But I hope so soon.
Twice.
I'm so dead. I love it.
I think we also got to bring back this comment he said here, man. This is what we mean, man. You're definitely, there's something special about you because you're doing all this after a serious injury that would stop all kinds of people. You know what I mean? I stopped wrestling after my Achilles. I had an Achilles tear. It wasn't a full tear, but it was pretty serious. And I've never stepped foot back in the ring since. You know what I mean? So to work through an injury like that, it's pretty. Hush. I'm 30. I'll be 36 next month.
If I do what you're doing, you son.
I'm not DDPing right now, dog. I'm not just gonna go become a world champion at 36. Okay, I've got shit to do. I've got a podcast. I've got the other podcast. I've got
one more match. One more match.
I love it.
I'll job for you.
Heyo, boy. And there's
Wait, guys, there's a lady in the room.
Well, listen.
You're done.
Speaking of the room, Mike, before we wrap up here.
Oh
soon,
yeah, gosh, man, we didn't get
after
to this.
the one question.
I can't really ask you
We
this.
can't
so
ask her.
what
Yeah.
do you know? Hold on. First of all, do you ever?
Well,
you
you
don't.
can ask her. She
Hold
when
on.
she gets her own place. You know.
Yeah. Well, okay.
This
We'll customize it for Brittany
All right.
here. What do you know? What Todd keeps his thermostat set to? And do you put your filthy hands on his thermostat?
Oh, never. I don't know how
Okay.
to use. I actually don't know how to use a thermostat because I've never touched it.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to touch it.
Go
Jeez.
Todd.
God,
I think
Todd's the dude, man.
I think it's like. Is that, I'm not sure. Maybe like
That's awesome.
75.
That's okay.
75.
Oh my God. You're not ready to live by yourself.
They're in Arizona. They're like lizards
Okay.
out
And,
there.
like, sometimes I'll go to hotel rooms and instead of like the AC unit on the wall, it'll have like it'll have the buttons, and I'm like, what do I do?
Okay. Hotel rooms, here's the deal. You ain't paying for the electric. You bump that thing
Crank that
all the
shit
way
All
down.
the way down.
I don't like the cold. I'm from Arizona. I've been traveling. It's fall.
That's why they
Buy
give
a,
you the
buy a
blankets.
Tusslemania
80
hoodie
degrees and
and
I'm
wear
cold.
it in your hotel room.
In fact,
She's a little
everyone
thing. She'll freeze to death.
listening should buy a Tussle.
She'll be a Britsicle.
Tussle.
Go buy
Get those Tusslemania
Tussle
merch.
and go buy.
I got
a
the
Brittnie.
pink beanie. I'm so hyped.
So do you
so
do you
hyped.
have a pro wrestling tee store or a merch store
I
anywhere?
do. So right now, I only have one design up, but it's about to be stale because it literally says the summer of Brittany, and today's the first day of fall. And I'm not gonna put the fall of Brittany because I'm not
That
falling.
doesn't sound right.
I'm
Doesn't ring
wrapping
very
up.
well.
Autumn? The autumn of Brittany?
Well, I do have a new design that I should put up, but I actually don't know if I can put it up because it's like there's a cuss word in it. So
Hey, fuck it. You know?
That's why
it
the
says
good
it's
Lord made
Brittany bitch
asterisks.
on it in the Barbie font. So it's like Barbie font. It says it's Brittany bitch, and I just made stickers of it. And I'm like, I don't
Bro.
know if I'm allowed to sell those, but I'm just gonna do it. So
Well, I don't know if you know my
before
gimmick.
they get taken down, I need one for sure.
Say, I don't know if you know my gimmick, but I wear a different pro wrestling T-shirt every day. I hold the world record. I'm on day 634. I definitely need it. It's
how big
Brittany
is your
bitch.
closet?
It's insane. I literally have an entire closet that's only pro wrestling shirts, and it's full. It's literally
I
full.
love it.
I have almost 700 right now. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
We even donated some of ours to him to keep the.
I have a lot of doubles now too because I bought a bunch of lots.
What are you wearing today?
Today is the new Iron Sheik shirt that you can get from Pro Wrestling Crate.
Love it.
Woo! I
It's
love
comfy.
it.
Rest in peace, Cheeky baby.
It's a
Fuck
cool
the
color.
Monday.
Cool color, and it's comfy.
It's olive.
It's a nice olive.
Well, that's
I'm
the
wearing
other
the other-
shirt.
favorite
The
color.
other Crate.
The other
Go to
shirt from the crate,
ProWrestlingTees.com and sign up for the
Kenny
Pro
Omega.
Wrestling Crate so you don't miss out on these cool shirts.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna need to get some Brittnie merch.
Yeah, let us know when you got them.
Yes.
We'll spend $1 or two and
Yes.
support your travels.
I
Absolutely.
love it.
Well, yeah, we're already past an hour here. Good Lord. And it's getting dark in Arizona.
Yeah, the sun's
What's happening?
setting. I'm like,
We appreciate you taking your time out, because we definitely have the technical difficulties and whatnot. But like I said, and this isn't us just kissing your ass because you're here. I think you got a bright future in this pro wrestling industry. And I think if you keep the mentality that you have and just keep paying it forward, and you're going to get there, and it's going to be sweet, sweet victory, man, when you get there. So
thank you so much. Thank you guys for taking the time to have me on here. It's so fun.
Absolutely.
Sorry about the technical difficulties in the car and the sun setting. It's been wild.
It's all good.
Oh, you're
Even-
good. My daughter's gonna go nuts when I told her that we had a female wrestler on here, because half the time we'll go to a show and like it could be Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson, and she'd be like, meh. But as long as there's women on the show, she's happy. So she'll be pretty pumped about this.
Aw. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And like Sifa said, we are so pumped to see where you go from here for sure. So as always, we have been the DWO podcast. I'm Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is Wrestling T-shirt guy Cephas, and she is Miss Brittnie Brooks. It's Brittnie, bitch.
Tell Todd and Gigi we said hi.
yeah,
Okay.
not a
Absolutely.
GG.
And as always, you can follow us on all the socials at DWO_podcast, Facebook at the DWO podcast, Pro Wrestling Tees, T Public. Peace out, Dave. Brittnie, you want to plug your socials real quick?
Yes, my Instagram is the Brittnie Brooks. My Twitter is at Brittnie Brooks. I have Facebook Brittnie Brooks, vlog channel Brittnie Brooks, everything. If you just type in my name, it'll pop up probably. I hope.
All
And
right.
Pro Wrestling Tees, new shirt coming in soon. Incoming soon.
Incoming soon.
Whatever.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, Top Dads out.